Hello and welcome back to the Call of Duty League. Before the break, we saw some incredible stuff coming out of LA Gorillas, and the Florida Mutineers just fell short, unfortunately. It was Game 5, though, and we all love a Game 5, so no one is complaining apart from maybe the Mutineers, just a little bit. But I actually have a brand new desk with me as well. I have a refresh. It's been refreshed. I got TP. I have Momo with me as well. Momo, lovely to have you joining me at the end of the desk.
It's good to be back for sure. I mean, it's been a while. Last time I was on the desk, it probably was with Teep, so you know it feels comfortable. But you're killing it this weekend.
Thanks,
it's been
man.
Fantastic. I'm excited for this next game, but honestly, it just feels nice and comfy to sit down, relax, and not stand up and cast for like an hour.
You're doing a fantastic job there. You and Miles just look like all the time you're having an absolute blast up there, and the jokes from you two are pretty good too. So
it's an interesting one, that one.
It is an interesting one. TP, what do you make of their casting?
Oh, I absolutely love it. The combination of these two, Miles' sultry voice, you can't get enough of it, right? Doing a great job, Phil.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to head to the US Air Force quick scope right now and take a quick look. Mind the pun again. I'm full of puns today. I can't help myself. But we need to have a look and single out some incredible plays, of course, of the day. Gentlemen, have you had your eyes on any amazing plays? TP?
I think I have to go back to the Weskin play. The amount of snipes he was hitting, the 1v3 clutch to really get his team the advantage. The Royal Ravens came out so hot today. It's kind of a highlight reel for that whole team.
Yeah, amazing. And yes, we are going to go to the US Air Force quickscope in just a second. I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm teasing too much. Can't help myself here. I just want to see it myself as well. Momo, you've done a few quickscopes up in the casting box as well, haven't you?
Yep.
Talk me through how these guys work. So we've got a versus here. Having a look at these two teams, I guess, in contrast.
Yeah, a big contrast. Obviously, you got a very big brand in Optic Gaming. As you can see, the numbers on your screen, 28 major tournaments between them, 3 championships. Paris don't have that, you know, it's a little different. We definitely have the favorites coming into this, but honestly, I think Paris are in the same boat, you know, the Ravens are. They're here to kind of prove people wrong. They don't want to be that team that just gets rolled over. They don't want to be that team that's just kind of left outside in the cold. But Optic Gaming, I think, again, how they're going to be treated by these fans, I'm not sure. It's going to be, for me, the most entertaining thing is the drama behind all of this. But a good showing. I don't think Paris are going to be as bad as people think.
100%. TP, I've got to ask you because, of course, of your career and where you've gone to, you've played, of course, for many years, and you've got some serious titles under your belt. But, of course, you were also the Optic Gaming coach. Now, all of the drama that is happening behind these boys right now, this new Optic Gaming roster, it kind of saddens me to see that happen. But do you think that is going to put pressure on their shoulders, or do you think that's going to fuel the fire?
I think it's going to fuel the fire for sure. And honestly, I feel like out of this whole situation, not a lot of people are really talking about Dashi and Tej. Coaching those guys, they're phenomenal. They're top-tier players. Whatever team they're going to go to are going to be a top contender. So I'm excited to see how the young guns come into this new squad, how they're going to handle the pressure of handling the new Optic Gaming. You're teaming with absolute beasts in Slasher, Kenny, JCap, right? They have the perfect formula for a team that could dominate this entire league. And just knowing them personally, like, did everyone forget how good Dashi was last year? The guy was an unreal talent. He still is. Like, I feel like people aren't hyping them up enough, to be honest.
Indeed, and I know he had quite a short run in terms of, you know, the longevity of Scump and Formal and the likes of Crim, and I get that, but I feel like he totally made a name for himself with that Optic Gaming roster, and you shouldn't count him out.
Yeah, I think there's big shoes to fill in Optic Gaming, but I think Dashi is one player which will retain some of those fans. I think he built a huge fan base up, obviously, and you know that was alongside TJ, you know, when they were under Optic Gaming. I think that does transition over. You can't help but love it when he's on your screen and he's just lighting up on that main stage, and I think that's quite... It is radiating through the team, so I want to see that kind of go towards the JCap, the Slasher. But again, I don't know whether we're going to see this different Slasher. It seems like is a little bit of a different environment on Optic Gaming today.
Does indeed, and we're going to meet the men behind our voices right now. Let's meet your teams for this next matchup.
Minneapolis, are you ready? Make some noise if you want to see these two teams on the stage right now. It's the evening, baby, so get your drinks at the bar and head to your seats, because it's time to introduce your first team from Paris, France. This is the Legion.
Shocks, cuts them in half.
And what is that flick? Zed with the cluster.
It all comes down to this.
That was as close to perfect as you're going to see in a round.
Making his debut in the Call of Duty League, please make some noise for Kismet! The Brit, now representing France, let's hear it for Zed! The first of 3 Australians, the greatest from ANZ, let's hear it for Dens! He's been a beast since his first ever tournament, the always electric Shocks! And the Aussie prodigy, give it up for Luca! That is your Paris Legion, but now it's time to introduce their opponents. Representing Los Angeles, it is Optic Gaming.
That is sensational from Optic. In through the front line, dashing! And it's Slasher! And suddenly the sweep comes in from Optic! Are you kidding me?
The main AR, let's hear it for the Big Boost. On SMG, the kid, TJ Haley. It's your Black Ops 3 World Champion. Give it up for Slasher. The 2018 Esports Awards Rookie of the Year. Give it up for Kenny. And back on Optic Gaming, it's the 2-time world champion, J-Cap! Ladies and gentlemen, are we going to see another upset? It's time to find out as we send it back to the desk.
Oh, it certainly is time to find out, Puckett, and I cannot wait for this as well. It's the moment I have been waiting for, of course, with the drama that's been happening behind Optic Gaming, old versus new. I want to see what these guys are going to give us today, because I think they're going to deliver the goods, fellas. I really do think so. But we need to get into the game fuel keys to victory. Momo, I'm going to start with you. We're going to talk about Paris Legion here. What do you think these guys need to do in order to try and seal this win on the main stage today?
I think, first of all, it's not kind of look at the names who you're up against. I think that's something that gets to a lot of people, is seeing that Slasher, seeing that J-Cap, that world champion. Just think you're playing against 5 other players. They're human, after all. They're beatable. We've seen that time and time again. And just embrace it. Just kind of take in all this energy. We saw the LA Gorillas obviously kind of embracing the hate almost. Just, you know, realize that the pressure is off you guys. Everyone's looking at Optic.
Absolutely, and of course they do actually have some seriously good people on their roster, but can this Legion finish and finally break through here? Because, you know, actually between them, they have a lot of quality champ finishes here, Momo, but they need to start, you know, to step things up. It's the first ever time they're playing on the CDL stage, and it's difficult. You have shakes right at the start. It's a brand new league, brand new franchising system, and a new point system too. Yeah,
I think for these guys, again, for Paris, I think you've got players who are so hungry. They've not won before. You know, some of these guys, whether it's, you know, Luca from the APAC region, you got Zed from the European region, and it's difficult. Yes, there is maybe a little bit of difficulty kind of chemistry-wise, but these guys were picked up for a reason. I think going up against Optic is a very, very tough game, but you've got to come out like the Ravens. You've got to come out and make a statement, you know, do something, and I think one of the keys for victory there was just start slaying. You don't want to have a slow game by any means against Optic.
Absolutely, and speaking of Optic, we've got the game fuel keys to victory for Optic Gaming Los Angeles, and I'm going to bring it over to TP, of course, here, because this is a fantastic storyline. It's great, actually, a storyline, having you on the desk with me as well. So what do these guys need to do and focus on here against Paris?
You know, we have only so much to go off of when it comes to online scrims and stuff like that. We saw, you know, sort of negative things about Optic Gaming from online, but from some of the other matches we've seen so far to start CDL, some of those online performances haven't really matched up to what we've seen on LAN. So I'm expecting a roster like this to come in very, very focused. I'm pretty sure the first map coming up is going to be Azir Cave. I've heard that Optic, it's one of their strong suited maps. So going into this series, I think they got to make a statement, man. These guys are so damn talented, and my eyes, personally, again, being from Optic before, I want to see how Dashy comes out. The guy can single-handedly, you know, carry a team on his back. We saw it multiple times in series last year in Black Ops 4. Why can't he do it again? I'm excited to watch the guy play.
Me too, and I'm excited to throw it over to our casters for this game here. Chance, Benson, it's the new Optic Gaming, baby. What are we thinking?
Oh, to be honest, Lady, I have absolutely no idea. I think in terms of the game, the result, many people are going to say it's going to be LA Optic. It's going to come out and take it. Probably rightfully so. Paris Legion, of course, very low on the power rankings. But for me, it gets more interesting. During the walkout, I'm not sure if you heard it, Chance, Optic Gaming announced by Puckett, a couple of boos came through. And it's so strange for me to have been around Optic Gaming for a decade, see them go across the world, and it doesn't matter where they are, fan favorites. Now, as JCap let us know, it's Slashers Optic Gaming.
And we can see exactly how well they do with all that added pressure to the name, right? Obviously, quite a few of these players thrive under the pressure, enjoy being the villains. I mean, again, these guys have loved playing against the organization for years. Kenny's been feasting for quite some time. Slashers had field days at times, he's gotten beat at times, but it's a historic organization for a reason, so the tension is going to be there.
And I think many people want to see Optic Gaming come out and just obliterate Paris Legion. If you really want to consider them one of the best teams in the game, they have to do that. But on the flip side, Paris Legion, there's upset potential here, Chance. There really is. There's one player specifically that I know everyone is looking at.
I mean, it depends on who you ask, right? You'll get a couple different options, but for me, my main focus is going to be Luka, because again, he was one of those guys, sort of like Lucky from the Spanish region. They were like, when this kid turns 18, that's going to help out the region immensely. And the brief amount that we saw Luka at the start of Black Ops 4, there were flashes of brilliance. Unfortunately, it's been a year since that. I haven't seen much from him now, and I want to see him start strong.
Well, hopefully it'll be a good game. That's what all the neutrals want, I'm sure. Ryan Kismet as well from Paris Legion had a great year last year, but the game, of course, underway. About 30 seconds into the first hill, still very, very close. Paris Legion with a small advantage, but again, we casted Azir Cave earlier on. We know it's all about locking down those spawns for P2.
And we've seen quite a few teams that just play incredibly safe to make sure they have those spawns. Right now, the Paris Legion are going to be favored in that direction, so yes, Optic might be able to get a few of these points, even if they get the final 15 seconds. The goal for Paris is to rack up the time on P2, and right now, they have the map control to make that happen.
Definitely do. There, a quick glance. Paris Legion ready and waiting for the new home to rotate for Optic Gaming. It's going to be a very big push that's going to need to come through to try and funnel them out, because they do have the lead, 28-18, only a 10-point one, but this now chances where, oh, well, never mind. Optic Gaming has actually just spawned the very bottom side. That's 4 players. Paris Legion's going to have no idea. That should be such an easy break. You could argue maybe Paris Legion pushed a little too far forward, but Optic Gaming get a big, big break.
I mean, you saw Den just way too aggressive. He moved all the way up to the sandbags. I mean, that's crazy pressure he's putting on. So Optic will take the spawns. They'll be right in the back. And we talked about how difficult of a hill this can be to break, but Optic, they do it not even, well, really, they got slayed out their first push, but hey, they made it work, Ben.
Yeah, they definitely did. Yes. Quick glance at the stats. It's Quavo 6-5, Dashy 7-4. I think TP brought up a great point. You know, you have to think about Dashy last year, how people have just kind of forgotten a little bit about just how good and how much of a talent he truly is. But as we go down to the scrap time of the second hill, it is Optic Gaming LA with a nice, sizable lead. Admittedly, a little bit of luck on their side there as well.
And I mean, it's not just Dashy, right? Like, obviously, phenomenal player, best in the game at a point last year. But then you made the comment, like, can take over a game, and in my head I was like, well, so can TJ. And, like, Slasher as well. It was like, oh yeah, Quavo can too. Like, it really is a genuinely stacked roster. But at the moment, outside of the one misstep for Paris Legion, they've been doing fairly well for themselves. Now on the whole, though, Optic, they're going to be surging from the right side of the mini-map. They have a little bit of clearance towards the hill.
And credit to Kismet so far for Paris Legion, currently sitting at 10-7, 18 seconds hill time. Really trying to make a good performance in game number 1, but it is still Optic Gaming with the advantage. About a 20-point lead and starting to develop. Quavo, of course, inside the hill. He will fall, and Paris Legion can surge straight back in.
And doing well inside the hill, getting quite a bit of this time. There's someone for Optic that might take a crack at just trying to maybe fight for the bit of scrap, but Quavo looks like he's going for the rotation, and this is honestly Optic maybe not doing as well as they could have. It's going to be a little bit tough. They're going to have to pick up about 2 more kills, but you already see Quavo. He's making his way, trying to get the cutoffs, and even if he picks up 1 kill here, he's done his job.
The fight's going to start to commence inside the hill. Meanwhile, Quavo still trying to work on the flank. Of course, I've watched competitive Call of Duty for a couple of years. Quavo, of course, Kenny, as we know and love him. Former 100 Thieves prodigy almost, but Paris Legion doing so well in this game so far. I mean, I don't think many people would have expected it to be this close.
Of course, though, Optic did get the break. It's because Quavo actually did pick up 2 kills right in that brief moment. Yes, he died later on, but getting those 2 kills helped get his team those close spawns. At the same time, they'll fight for 30 seconds to go either way because Paris, they got 3 bodies inside the hill. Zed's looking for kills, but he's got Kismet with the help.
And one thing to note, with 20 seconds left, it was around about 30. Luca just decided, nope, don't want any more of this. I'm going to go all the way to the back of the map, get ready for that next rotation to come through. Wants to anchor those spawns, does not want to allow what happened on the second hill to happen again. Essentially, Optic Gaming spawning behind Paris Legion.
And then I mentioned Luca earlier, but Kismet, obviously, you got to highlight him as well. He's got 16 kills. And
he's so good.
We saw him all throughout Black Ops 4. He could be the best player in the game, and then 5 minutes later, he'd be the worst in the game. So he is a very hot and cold player, but right now, he is hot. The main reason his team has this lead.
A big flank actually develops there from Dashi. He's on the pinch as TJ goes straight through the front of the hill. So Optic Gaming LA break the hard point. How long can they hold it though? Because the kill feed orange as Paris Legion fight back, still holding the favorable spawns for now. And honestly, Paris Legion are in a pretty good spot here. They can slay out Optic Gaming in 1 wave of quick succession kills. They'll get the majority of this time remaining.
I mean, Paris Legion have genuinely been doing a fantastic job. Optic has been consistently trying to set up pinches, and they've been approaching from every single direction. The problem is the kills have just not been going their way. And Paris, with the closer spawn, you're going to have to kill them an extra 2 times to get the clearance. But you look at the kill feed, it's Paris on the left side. They have been outslaying their opponent, and look at it. JCap right now is double negative. TJ's -5. They are barely just getting outslayed.
And I'm curious to see what Lucre does. If you look on the minimap, it's the furthest to the left, orange arrow. I thought for a minute there he may have just gone on a big flank. Instead, decides, no, that's not going to be the game plan, and Dashi will deal with him. And well, Dashi may actually have a couple more to deal with. He's inside the first hill. Should be able to find at least 1. There's number 2. Nice play from Dashi. Currently a 3 streak. Teammates, of course, calling out exactly where Paris Legion are. Dashi trying to find even more. Finds Dens as well. Dashi just isn't slowing down inside the first hill.
And that is, in fact, him inside the hill right now, trying to extend that streak as much as possible. It eventually gets chopped, but the great news for Optic as well, they were able to actually flip and secure those spawns for next.
And there was actually a very important kill that just went down, which was Quavo on Kismet. That was at the back of the map. They try and secure the spawns, but Paris Legion, if they're quick here, they could maybe try and flip the spawns. But as it stands, 154 to 116, Paris Legion the advantage.
And now, of course, Optic, well, if we've learned anything from this P2 hill, they got to make sure that they really keep pressure on that back side, the top side, the top right side of the minimap. If you push up to the sandbags, might be a little bit too far, so you got to be a little bit careful. But right now, Paris, they are surging through that cut of the cave, and there you go. Play it, push up to the sandbags. Paris spawns right in the back, and they're inside the hill.
There is still one player, though, for Optic Gaming who could maybe be a nuisance. It's actually going to be Quavo. He's found himself 2, almost found 3. Dens shuts him down, though, and Paris Legion, they're building a lead, Chance. They're building a lead. This is completely against the run of script that you would have expected. 166 to 120, still 30 seconds left on the hub.
And this could have been a massive opportunity for Optic to get back in the game, and now they got to deal with Shox, who's able to pick up 3. The cleanup crew shooting him in the back. The multi-kill is there, and the man is on a second streak as well with the help from the teammate. Shox is on fire.
He's not slowing down at all. 7, can he find number 8? He's just beaming right now. Don't do it to him. The man has a family, please. Shox. He knows he's up there, hunting down Shox for 1 more. He's gonna get it as well. That's number 9. How many more is he gonna get? Well, 10's right in front of him. Kismet cleans him up. Paris Legion, they were so focused on the rotation, and Shox was just like, well, guys, I'm killing everyone. He hasn't stopped. 10. Finally, Slasher shuts him down. But Paris Legion, they've taken this hard point by the scruff of the neck.
All that double-digit kill streak, though, and they haven't really gotten any pressure inside the hill, but now it's going to be Zed that's actually behind enemy lines. He's able to pick up one while his teammates are surging through, and, well, now Zed actually can be the annoying man. Might be able to shoot some players in the back. They haven't sniffed them out quite yet.
There could be a pinch. If he's quick, he has to be fast, so he's going to know Optic Gaming is spawned behind him, so he has to find the kills in a very quick fashion. Unfortunately, the team kill comes through, but the trades, are they there for Paris Legion? Well, Dashi will try and shut them down, but bear in mind, chance, there's 15 seconds left on this hill. It's all about the rotation. Keep your eye on that minimap. It seems for now, at least, like Optic Gaming are winning those crucial gunfights.
And this is one of the moments of the game. Either Optic can hold on secure and get a decent amount of time on this next hill and even take the lead, or if Paris can break through fast, that might be enough to help secure them the win. And, well, it comes down to these early gunfights. Slasher's working his way through well. Players just sliding into him, takes that, but you see the kill feed. Trades are back and forth.
Got to be so patient. So patient. As Dashi will be trying to lock down the spawns for now at least. But the kill feed, it's orange. Paris Legion trying to break through. Ben's watching the lane. Jacob, of course, will be right in front of him. No one in the hill just yet, but it's still Paris Legion with the lead. 30 seconds left on the hill. 191, 168. Another team kill for Paris Legion, but it doesn't seem to matter just yet. Zed still in the hard point. Dashi shuts him down. That's a double for him, and he's flying towards the hill, but Shox will find a kill. And again, keep your eye on that minimap. Optic Gaming this time first to the rotation.
Yeah, you see Slasher's making sure he can go all the way in the back, and TJ, meanwhile, is able to pick up 3 massive kills. So Slasher's job is going to be easy. Paris is going to be a little bit slow in this rotation, as a fantastic kill and rotation by Optic. The lead now just 13 points.
This could basically be for the game. If Paris Legion is able to break this hill quickly and efficiently, Optic Gaming is going to be in a spot of bother, that's for sure. And the pinch is actually coming through. It's starting to develop. Dashi will go down. Shox flies into the hill. Paris Legion with control. Shox with a double. Still a lot of work to be done. Optic Gaming spawning just to Shox's right-hand side, and Quavo starting to develop a bit of a pinch. Big plays from him. 2 kills, but still, Paris Legion in the hill. Den's trying to go big. Dashi will fall. That's Den's again. Zed with the pinch, but no! TJ turns and burns. Double for him. Optic still in the hill.
And now it's going to be up to Shox potentially to make a play, or maybe TJ just going to let that streak go crazy, trying to flood out, but he's going to get chopped down. 3 players in and around the hill for the side of Optic, and, well, they're not able to get time. You see Paris actually keeping him outside the hill. No one's going to get a good chunk of that scrap time. It's effectively a tie game.
And now you have to look all the way back at the minimum again for P1. Paris Legion, they're ready and waiting for the Optic Gaming to inevitably push Kismet in the hill. Zed watching the lanes to the right-hand side as well. This could be absolutely massive if Paris Legion can just slay out Optic Gaming one more time. Could they potentially take map number 1? Well, Quavo's gone on the flank. He'll find Dens, and it seems like his teammates have done the rest of the work in the hill. Optic Gaming break.
Quavo going to be inside the hill, trying to stay alive. You see the nades are doing damage. He's going to be oh so weak in Paris. They're going for the surge just to get him outside the hill, but he's actually picked a slightly different spot than usual, so he's able to stay alive a little bit longer and might be able to make the play.
All you have to do if you're Paris is hold the spawn. You have to hold the spawn, but you can see 1 green arrow at the bottom of your screen go for the rotation. That's TJ Haley. He has himself a 1v3 he may need to fight because Optic Gaming cannot win here, but TJ has to go big, and he's unable to do so. Paris Legion, can they hold the spawn? It looks good for now, Chance. Optic Gaming, they're spawning out.
And Dash has got to stay alive in the back. He's able to take down Shox, but it shouldn't be enough to give Optic those back spawns. Paris will be in control early on. It's going to be, what, 17 seconds this game is theirs. Whoever wins KVs wins the game.
10 more seconds for Paris Legion. The kill feed, it's all orange. They're sending a message. You have them bottom of the power rankings. Boy, oh boy, were you wrong. Paris Legion take game number 1. A wonderful, wonderful performance from them.
Reunited, Ben, and it feels so good. We gave love to Luca, we gave love to Kismet, but it was the old Australian duo of Shox and Dens. They took a year apart, they're back together, and they led the lobby in slaying. It was 36 for Dens, 36 for Shox. Well, the next highest in lobby had 34, so they were close, but not good enough to keep up with the Aussies.
Paris leads the series 1-0. Let's take a look at our Scuff Gaming play of the game. I mean, there's only one play that stands out that truly was that impressive, an insane streak. I mean, absolute madness from Shox. The guy simply did not fall. Incredible. We'll be back after this.
We trying to get hype. 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 We trying to
Metro by T-Mobile. Complete your mission with the best deal in wireless. PS4, the official platform partner of Call of Duty Challenges.
Paris Legion 1-0 up against Optic Gaming LA. Not the result many people would have expected, but Paris, despite rumors of lack of practice, they showed they have serious talent, gents.
I mean, they just genuinely had a fantastic game. I mean, early on it was Kismet, right? He was 16-12, the next highest in lobby, had maybe 11 kills. He was going off like a rocket. And then all of a sudden, Shox was like, oh, let me go on a 10 spree. And then by the end of the game, Denz was right there with him. Fantastic game from Paris. But now we go to a map like Arklov, and that makes me think two things. One, we're going to see a lot of snipers.
Yes, we will.
Dashy does happen to be in this lobby. We have seen many of fantastic things from him with a sniper rifle in his hands. But I also think there is a ton of potential. There's a lot of real estate to work with flanks, with crazy plays, with aggressive pushes through mid-map.
And I'm like, one player.
Kismet.
Yes.
This is what Kismet loves to do. This is his type of wheelhouse. Now, obviously, we've never seen him play before. Maybe he wants to go for a standard slow-paced setup. He'll sit back with an AR.
No,
or
no.
He'll just be as aggressive and annoying as he
yes.
possibly can. And, of course, Luke is fantastic in S&D in his own right. But this might just be Kismet's playground.
I mean, if you watch Call of Duty esports last year, I mean, Kismet was really, for me, a little bit of a breakout player. Yes, may not have had the crazy accolades, championship wins, etc., but he showed us that when it comes to search and destroy, that was his thing, right? And he could hold his own in respawn, as he did in game one there. But when it comes to search, the thing about Kismet is his timing just always seems to be so perfect almost, right? When he's thinking about his push, it always seems to work out. There's some moments though, some maps you have to admit, it doesn't. It just completely all falls flat on its head. So it's either, you know, it's gonna be a very, very good game or he's gonna be completely nullified. For me though, after the momentum from game one, you have to think it's gonna be the first. It's gonna be him just absolutely dominating Chance.
That genuinely is like the Kismet kind of tagline. It is within the same game. He will go from being the best player in the world to going for like the worst. It's a very hot and cold thing, and it's a matter of finding that consistency, bringing it all together, and that's when Kismet will kick his game up just another notch, and maybe this will be the game for him to do it then.
I mean, if Paris Legion can lead the series 2-0, that would be incredible for confidence. And talk about snipers, Dashy will of course have one, but it's actually going to be Kismet with the other. So maybe, unless he's trying to do his best Pomage impression, he might slow down a little bit here.
Might have to play a little bit slower, but of course, we're just expecting a highlight reel at some point from this young man. A phenom in his own right, and we'll see if Kismet can respond. Actually, you see he takes the sniper shot. I think that's Dashy that moves over.
Uh-oh.
This is the fight for first blood.
Oh, I tell you what, did he just pull the trigger?
I bet he can see his name.
Oh! Swing and a miss the first shot. And that player from Optic Gaming is playing with fire, but Kismet misses twice. Never mind, first blood did come through. Slasher is able to shut down Zed. What is that going to do to the offensive push? Slows it down momentarily. Of course, still plenty of time to rotate.
Hey, the first blood was actually in the bomb carrier, though. So Paris is forced. They're going to have to go pick this up. They do have to make a play over towards this A site. And, well, Dashy's got the angle for it. You peek a little bit too far, you might find yourself in the grave.
So you got to be careful. You don't want to wide peek too slowly. As Kismet once again goes for the re-challenge and finds it. Quavo, though, was able to shut down Luca. So still, the numerical advantage in Optic Gaming's favor is now the nades and the utility is going to be thrown over the top. Kismet will try and retrieve the bomb, and also a new weapon replaces out the pistol secondary. And if he gets up close and personally, maybe able to call some damage shots. Picks up Slasher. Quavo with another double. And that now means Kismet has a lot of work to do. He finds Dashy, now the 1 versus 2, and it stops there. Optic Gaming win round 1.
Get that first blood, make sure you get the trades to win the round, and well, sometimes if you're Quavo / Kenny, you don't even need to get the trades, to just pick up the 2-piece early on and give you that nice little man advantage, but very solid route coming out, very controlled, and it's really just that first pick. Again, as soon as it's the bomb carrier that happens to be down in that little side pit area,
it's awkward.
You're forced to go get it. It can be tough, but Quavo obviously a very nice round, picking up 3 to get the win.
Yeah, of course. 2 of those 3 was a nice little double kill. But we'll stay on Dashy's perspective for now. Of course, you expect him still to have that sniper rifle out. Kismet still with a sniper as well. So that sniper matchup. And we get to see who manages the best one another. Kismet just slowing things down. Of course, the smoke goes out. At this point, he's calling his teammate saying, yep, pretty sure it's going to be an ambush, lads.
Still, though, not quite super reactive on the map as Paris. They still have the map spread because while they have a little bit of information, it's not enough to completely bite. But now that you see a couple players jumping around, it might be a little bit more of a tell, and Dashy can feel it, or the Paris Legion, excuse me, can feel it, going for that repositioning.
It's very dangerous. Cross right in the open. Dashy swing and a miss. He knows they're there, and at least give TJ license to push up. Shocks will get first blood. That's Quavo that falls, but I don't think they realize that TJ's been able to get that far forward. Well, they do now. The challenge is instant. Zed shuts him down. JCap to try and trade out. It's Kismet that falls, so they no longer have to worry about the sniper rifle threat. And bear in mind, Dashy is still alive.
Dashy is still alive, looking for a pick, but JCap's actually pulled up pretty aggressive. He's not going to go for the bomb play. He needs to find a pick. He's able to take down Zed, but a nade from up top is able to get the trade.
And that's worth for JCap there, right? He's stuck in a pretty rough situation, and he was able to at least take one down with him. Now Slasher and Dashy 2v3.
And this is a 2v2 over at the site, though. There's a player for Paris that potentially can go on a flank, but it'll take a long time, and just Luca, like that, even odds at the 2v2.
I guess the question is, when is Luca going to get his dead silence? If he's able to get it quick enough, that could be a potent flank. Meanwhile, Slasher, he's going to try and push straight forward. Denz is going to be spotted. Luca has caused damage on the flank, but Slasher's going to know about it. Now it's a 1 versus 1. Slasher versus Luca. Bomb is also planted. Bear that in mind. Luca will need to go for the defuse.
Fortunately for Slasher, the bomb's on the wrong side, so Slasher needs to go hunting. Luca with the challenge! Slasher with the gunny! taking the young man down in the 1 versus 1, and it looked perfect from Luka. Got first shot, and then just whiffed after that.
Got a little windy. He hits the first 2 bullets, and Slasher says, no, 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 not like this. Optic Gaming with the 2-0 lead. Admittedly, the rounds have been close, and Slasher now boosts his stats up to 4-1. Quavo right behind, 3-1. Again, in terms of the sniping fight, this time, Dashi puts it away. Kismet will keep his out.
Both teams doing pretty well to dodge the snipers for the most part. I think we've only seen 1 pick, but a lot of smoke pushes up towards these sites. Now, of course, though, Paris, they're working their way towards TJ, and it looks like he might be able to feel a little bit of the pressure. I think with the shoulder peeks, he spotted a couple. You see that glint of the sniper. That's the last time he's going to wide peek.
Now you're just watching to see if anyone's going to cross or trying to find a free pick if anyone maybe recklessly pushing. For now, at least, Paris Legion slowing things down. Again, we expect to see this more and more in Search and Destroy. JCap just barely stays alive, scrambles away, and gets away, more importantly.
JCap feeling the pressure is going to back down. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Kismet looks like he's starting to make a play. Luka actually able to get a pick. Kismet had clearance, but he's going to fall as well. Den's looking around mid-map, but not too much to find.
Now, bear in mind, both those kills in the trade actually went over on the B side of the map. And well, Bomb, as you might be able to see on the minimap there, is actually pushing over towards A. So this is a big opportunity for Paris Legion to just get the bomb down, if nothing else. It's only going to be Quavo, really, at the A side, who may be able to deal with this pressure. Will Shocks be able to find him quick enough? The nade's going to go out. Zed will stay alive. Luka has dropped, though. So now it's a 3 versus 2 in favor of Optic Gaming, but they have to deal with the bomb, and Slasher shuts down Zed surely now. This should be over, barring a miracle from Shocks. Almost, but Dashi instantly springs to life, gets the trade. Optic with a 3-0 lead.
And that's just too well played from Slasher there towards the end. He knew exactly where the guy was in pit. He doesn't try to take the gunfight right away. Plays a little bit passive.
Yep.
Makes sure the player's not going to be aggressive and jump up to take the gunfight. And then he makes sure he buys Dashi all the time in the world to set up for the pinch. So again, it's a smart veteran kind of play. Don't rush into things. You don't have to be the hero. Let your teammate take that final kill if need be. Make sure you secure the round.
Just having trust in your teammates, essentially. And well, Dashi's not going to let you down in that exact situation. And currently sits at 2-2. Slasher leading the way in Search, though, 6-2. And again, another round where Dashi will not have sniper rifle out. Kismet will.
See if someone can start making these picks. Again, they have been fairly slow offensive rounds. The smokes have been used to kind of mitigate the sniper. And you see how careful these players are. They know all of the lines of sight. The smoke comes down, and now Kismet is going to be at least partially useless until the smoke clears.
I love it from Kismet, though. Not afraid to change angles, mix things up a little bit, keep Optic Gaming on their toes. Maybe a first blood could come through. Unfortunately for Kismet, a little wide left. Bear in mind where the bomb actually is here, Chance. For Optic Gaming, you would assume if they keep pushing through mid, you'd wrap over towards B. But for now, at least, no. Again, the game slows down.
It's a setup when you have that bomb mid. It gives you options. You can wrap to either site in a span of 7 or 8 seconds. But right now, there's no real clearance on either side of the map. Optic Gaming looking for an opening that Paris has yet to give them.
Kismet still looking down over towards the A site. Hasn't found much, but if he looks again, well, he may see a couple of Optic Gaming jerseys looking right back at him. TJ trying to cross. Can he get there without being sniped? Yes, he can. Just barely, but keep your eye on Zed just to the right-hand side. Is he going to see the cross? Surely. 1, there's 2. Nicely done from Zed. So patient, almost found 3. As now Kismet will have all the information he needs. Optic Gaming are in fact pushing this site. Rotation should come through, but there's actually a flank coming in from Slasher, who's able to find Dens. Paris Legion, of course, will know about it. Kismet's looking for it. You cannot let Slasher get another kill here. He needs to be dealt with. Couple of misses from Kismet. This is just buying Optic Gaming a ton of time on the site. JCap will shut down Shocks. Now 2v2, now 2v1. Luka with a lot of work to do. Him versus JCap. JCap spots him, tags him up. 35 seconds, and bear in mind, bomb is down. JCap surely He's not going to miss shots like that. 4-0 in favor of Optic Gaming. And that's another one of these rounds, Chance, where Paris Legion seemed in full control. They have a numerical advantage, and they let the round slip away. Slasher, great play from him, timed that flank beautifully.
And not only that, but Slasher had a gunfight with Kismet that lasted 30 seconds.
I don't even think he was shooting at Kismet. He was shooting at Kismet's teammate. Kismet was just missing.
Well, whoever it was, yeah. Well, Slasher goes on the flank, but stays alive for so long that by the time Luca comes in for the flank, he just traded it out. But Luca, again, it was like 30 seconds, and someone's just sitting up for Optic, and before Luca even gets that kill, the trade is in, and that puts JCap in the 1-versus-1 where his positioning on the bomb site was perfect. Play nice and aggressive. Don't give Luke anything to work with, but now 4-0 Dashy has 4 players looking in front of him.
It's funny, Dashy pulls the sniper rifle out, Kismet puts his away. What damage can Dashy do defending the A site? They know now, more so than ever, there is a sniper out. They will of course heard that, so they will have to respect Dashy at least a little bit, because we know this man can hit his shots.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So he takes a lot of them. Slasher's able to find another one. He does get traded. Now Zed trying to get a little bit aggressive. Has to find a couple kills, though. Able to get one, but he's got Dashy on one end. He's got the double flank coming on the other. Dashy with the pistol, though, is able to take him down.
Luca last alive. He's dealt with as well. Optic Gaming putting on a clinic here in game 2. 5-0. Maybe this is when we referred to earlier on, Paris Legion, how much practice have they had? Search and destroy may be a big, big flag for them.
And I think Luca really needs to evaluate his positioning on the map. We saw the round before that. It seems like he was just kind of out of the game. By the time he gets involved, it's just a little bit too late. There we saw a double flank come in, and by the time Luca's even there to help his team, one, they're all dead. 2 players have already gotten past, and then he's in a terrible position for the gunfight. So I think there's just generic strategic errors that are currently being made from Paris, on top of the fact that, well, right now Optic getting a lot of first bloods, and Slasher has 9 kills.
Slasher leading by example. And unfortunately, Dashy didn't last very long in this round. A nade from Denz enough to secure a first blood, and of course the 1-man advantage.
And now you got Optic. They're just potentially thinking about wrapping that bomb out. They got 1 player cutting through mid, 1 player going on the full flank up through B. Looks like Luke is able to take Quavo down on the outside, but of course that means TJ is going to find a trade somewhere else on the map.
I mean, TJ just walked straight down the middle of the map and just shot someone in the back. It was Denz. Yeah, a little too easy there. However, Paris Legion still with the man advantage, 4 versus 3. Optic Gaming trying to set up maybe a pinch on the flank. And that's going to help. TJ finds the pick on towards Luca. Levels it up. 3v3. Kismet finds the snipe on the Slasher, though. And honestly, Kismet with the double in the kill feed. Beautifully done. That should be enough now to secure Paris Legion's first round. But boy, oh boy, do they have a mountain to climb, 5-0 down.
Kismet getting some very nice sniper shots, but if there's a list of players that can clutch a 1v3, TJ is definitely one of the players that's towards the top of that list. There is still potential here, but he's got his work cut out for him. Luckily for him, though, the Paris players are fairly split on the map. He might be able to single them out one at a time, but he's got to check every single corner. Doesn't have a ton of time, and, well, it's going to take a bullet to the brain.
Without dead silence, those situations are almost impossible. Because the second you move, if you're close, I mean, Zed, he's ready and waiting. That is a kill, which is always going to come through, but credit to Kismet, finds 2 in quick succession with a sniper rifle, secures the round for Paris Legion.
So I knew for a fact that it was Zed in that corner because I saw him there earlier. Still, for some reason, I thought it was a sniper that killed him. That was just, that gun kills quick, man, I'll tell you.
Sure does. Sure does. 5-1, though. Still the advantage for Optic Gaming LA. Paris Legion back on the attack. Really, nothing has worked for them at all so far here in game 2, especially on the attack. First blood would be nice. Unfortunately, Denz isn't going to get it. It's Quavo that does. Optic with the advantage.
Yeah, nice little double challenge mid coming out from the Optic boys. And of course, as soon as they get the pick, they say, hey, job is done. Let's back up, regroup, and get some safe positioning over towards B. We got a ton of map control over towards A. And now Paris, they are just spread all the way across the map. Keep in mind, we saw a double flank earlier. Maybe they were expecting aggression, which they got hit with mid-map, but Optic, they pumped the brakes.
That's a huge pick from Kismet. TJ was just trying to have a peek and see if anyone was going to push through and maybe put some pressure over towards B. Now, is that enough for Optic Gaming to rotate out of A towards B? Meanwhile, well, for Paris Legion, they could do the exact opposite. Rotate away from field, drop back over towards A, and see if they could try and take the site. But the one thing is, Chance, when you do this, you have to be quick.
Kismet
seeing what information he can get. He's not going to see anything, but you're still not convinced. JCap playing this sneaky angle. Zed was able to pick up 2 from here before JCap playing it a little bit differently.
He just has to be careful not to make too much noise because there's no way they're going to know he's here. And JCap should be able to find the kill. Fortunately not. I believe that Shox that escaped with his life. 30 seconds left though in the round. Time is ticking. Dashi will get the pick on towards Luca. So once again, Paris Legion with their backs against the wall. Quavo shuts down Shox and, well, with that kill, the game is over. Optic Gaming, a dominant search and destroy. That wasn't close, gents. That was just a bloodbath, to be completely honest with you.
Respawn, they might have been teed off on just a little bit, but you talk about a bounce back, and shout out Pac-Man again. Yeah. S&D mastermind giving his team a little bit of those strats, but as good as it could possibly get. The rebound you were expecting for Optic, a fantastic game by Slasher, finished in double digits in only 7 rounds, and not much more you can say. Just complete and utter dominance.
Paris Legion, Optic Gaming, tied up 1-1. And I want to get our thoughts from our expert analyst, Blood. Over to you.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Incredible stuff there all across the board. Very interesting. Paris Legion. Okay, I see you guys. You're doing pretty well up there. Loving that first map. We've got to discuss this. Azir Cave, Hardpoint, quite a classic for all of these guys up there to start that off with. But we've got to talk about what these guys did in-game and their strats here, because they were breaking every setup that Optic Gaming seemed to have. I mean, I've got to give it to Shox as well. Like, he literally was going off. I think he had at one point a 10-kill spree.
Yeah, that was nuts.
I see you as well, Shox. That was insane stuff. We've got to look at the replays of this highlight. I mean, talk to me about this TP right now, because Optic Gaming, they were falling short here. As you can see, Paris Legion with a lead there. They did start to climb back up again, but as a previous Optic Gaming ex-coach, if you could have jumped in game there and coached these guys in this map right now, what would you have said to them?
I'd probably be smacking them for some of their setups on second rotation. Abysmal stuff. You can't full rotate, give up a lot of scrap time, and then get insta-wiped on the first push. There's too many instances where Optic Gaming were in those situations, and the fact that you get 2, 3, 4 dead right away on your first wave of kills, it's kind of bad. But honestly, the streak that Shox went on right here, which is why they were able to secure such a crazy lead in sort of the mid-game, he was finessing. They just looked so much faster than the Optic Gaming side. When the SMGs are able to get into yellow, into blue, finesse around the map like this, the guy's cracked out of his mind, not missing bullets. Very impressive stuff out of him.
He was indeed. I mean, what did you make of it? Obviously, Paris Legion really putting a stamp on things right at the start of the series.
Yeah, it could have been worse if I'm being honest. We had Shox and Dens both nearly dropping a 1.5. I think it was Dens who did so, but 3 of them dropping over 4,000 damage. Not one member of OG did that, and that was the biggest shock to me. I think there's one mistake, and I think it was what Teep was pointing out, was on that second hard point was we saw some of Optic maybe pushing a little too far. That's kind of the money hill. That's where you want to really take in that time. And I think it was Slasher kind of just pushing up there. He went down, and we saw Paris spawn right at the back. It was a mistake from Optic, and then it was just kind of that momentum, that snowball effect, and Paris ran away with it. Credit to them.
They did. Momo, are you kind of surprised seeing Paris Legion like going off and on some of the most decorated players that we have, probably actually in the league?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you look at the lineup of Optic, and Maven's obviously a big fan of these guys, and rightly so. These on paper are one of the best. You know, they've got every piece of the puzzle, if you like. But for me, Paris, you look at this roster, and it's like, how did this come about? You've got Kismet from North America. You've got a couple of Aussies in there. You've got Zed chucked amongst them. It's like, who's the superstar? Who's the leader? Who's the slayer? You're like, I don't know. And then to see them come out and make a statement like that on map 1, it's very surprising, absolutely. And we've kind of got to build that storyline and say, you know, it's not just like a fluke or a lucky win. These guys have clearly been putting in time, and I think they've been putting a lot of time into Hardpoint. Search and Destroy I'm not so sure about.
I know. Well, that is the thing. The alarm bell did start ringing because those boys did wake up. In the second map, these guys, it was like a totally different team that we saw out there. They clearly have been practicing S&D. It's probably one of the cleanest maps of S&D I've seen so far, actually, through the weekend. And I've got to give it to them. Some of their strats, they're coming through. Legion just couldn't keep up with them. TP, what did you see from these guys? What was shining here about their S&D strats?
Very methodical slasher style S&D that we've been used to seeing for years now, and the reason why his teams in S&D have been pretty darn effective. Basically, they were very aggressive in some of the early rounds to go for those initial first blood challenges, but most of the time they weren't doing it alone. You know, when you take those 50-50 fights in middle, if you have a teammate right there with you, 2 M4s, you can kill a guy pretty quickly in those top windows and stuff like that. So I think Dashi did a really good adaptation throughout the map as well, and I think that's going to be the play moving forward of pulling out the sniper in situations sparingly, try to catch the other team off guard. If you have it out the entire time, sort of like Kismet did, you know how to play against it every single round. Dashy put it away for a couple rounds, and then if you randomly bring it back out on a defense, they're going to get comfortable and try and push lanes where a sniper can absolutely dominate. So I kind of like those different looks that Optic Gaming showed.
And talking about different looks as well, Momo, are you impressed with the different strats we're seeing from teams? Are you even seeing different strats coming through, or are you impressed with switch up?
I mean, we're very early on in the game, and I think we are going to have those more favorable bomb sites, and we do see that, you know, on Arklov, on Gunrunner. We're seeing kind of the trends come through. But what is interesting, I think, is how these teams play. Yes, we had the snipers being put away and brought out, but they were both on snipers on both sides. And I think for me, it was how they were changing the game. And what Teep said, obviously, there, put it away for a little bit, surprise that team, bring it out on defense, bring it out on offense. But for me, it wasn't the snipers in this game. Kismet, I think the only reason they won around was that sniper. But I was so frustrated when I was watching. The one round, I was like, this is where Legion can get back into it. It was Zed. He finds a beautiful two-piece and then just over-challenges. And it's just so unnecessary. And I think that's where maybe a little bit of experience. But the most impressive thing, Lottie, was how Optic just handled losing map 1 and then just coming out with such a clean map 2.
Yeah, definitely a lot of good composure there. And especially on Arklov, I think the offenses is impressive how Optic Gaming, they pushed over towards the A-bomb, but they only did it when they had utility. They used the smokes to block off the line of sight for Kismet. It makes them play an uncomfortable position, sort of towards that back building, the back truck. You get control of trench, then it gives you the sort of line to walk up towards bomb. It's very step-by-step methodical process, and usually when you have strats like that, it's high percentage, and we saw it right there.
Absolutely did. Now we're going to go to our US Army tactical play of the game, and it's none other than Luca over on the Paris Legion side here. Some really nice shots coming off from a lot of these guys. I'm really impressed with how they handled their composure in this game as well. It was a very difficult one right from the get-go here, but that lovely long shot there from Luca as well. Aimed down sight, pretty laser beams coming across from him. Impressed with any of the players in particular from this Legion team?
I think on the search and destroy, on the hardpoint, absolutely. There were many plays to kind of pick out. On the search and destroy, not so much. They were a little lackluster. It seemed like they were playing quite nervous, quite hesitant. And I think that probably comes down to the practice. But Optic, much like Teep said, it was very much slasher style search and destroy, very methodical, nothing crazy. They weren't shutting rounds down, you know, with still 5 players alive. The trades were very efficient. But again, it just seemed like Legion were 1 or 2 steps behind constantly.
Indeed. Well, it's about time, gentlemen, that we head back up to the casters. I have a question for you guys. Chance, Benson, can this Paris Legion team pull off an upset?
Ooh, spicy question. Maybe. I think it all depends on this next hardpoint, or the next respawn, I should say, this domination. I think if all of a sudden Paris Legion go 2-1 up, they've already won a hardpoint. Admittedly, their search didn't look good. Maybe benefit of the doubt, bad map, maybe a game 5 in the making. We'll wait and see, but one thing's for sure, Optic Gaming in game 2 looked very, very good. Slasher led the way. Then, of course, Kenny, Quavo. What is it? What is
Potato,
it?
potato, Kenny, Quavo. I have no idea. Quavo? Who knows? I'm calling him Kenny until I get answers.
Okay.
This is the new envoy, Asa Massi.
It's the debate all over
I have
again.
no idea anymore. So look, he's going to be Kenny for the race. The important thing, he's disgustingly good at Call of Duty.
Yes, he is.
He is a phenomenal player. That's the important part of the situation. We'll figure out pronunciation later on. I've been Kenny for years. In my head, I've been saying Quavo Ken since he was playing like back in Ghost. It's like 8 years now or something like that.
It's been a while.
I don't even know if like the Quavo rapper dude was like, I don't know who was first, honestly. I have no idea. Someone will explain it to me later. I need an adult. It's fine.
Either way, we head over to a game 3 with our series tied at 1-1. Of course, nice little bit of domination, change of pace. We'll see how this new look Optic Gaming is going to be able to take the fight to Paris Legion. But again, I think if Paris can start strong in the respawn, which, well, credit to Kismet, he will find the first pick of the domination. I think if Paris do take this chance, we're in for a hell of a series.
Right now you can see Dashy just waiting for his teammates. You got TJ and JCap working like different size flanks as well. TJ is actually just able to find 2. Looking for the 3rd as well. There's the help from Dashy while he falls. TJ for the trades isn't able to turn and burn on Kismet. So back to the 50-50, but right now Paris at least closer on the B flag.
That's one of the problems when you try and push through the B flag. You have to be so aware of the other team just spawning over towards Cole and just instantly trading out the kill. For now, B still neutral. Bear that in mind. Both teams getting ticks at exactly the same time. So very low scoring game so far as we wait to see who will finally take control of B. Paris Legion spring into life, but instantly Optic Gaming going for the pinch. However, that's Luca who manages to get himself a double. JCap now next to try and trade out as he wants to try and push through. He at least finds 1. Zed, though, again with the trade. Paris Legion so close to securing B before Dashi launches the nade at Zed.
They should be able to get it go. Shox is kind of that cutoff man for the squad. His teammates are going to swing right over. They're able to secure the flag. So early advantage. It took a very long time, but will go the way of Paris Legion.
I actually really like what Kismet just did. Rather than just staying back over towards Cole, he pushed straight through. He's actually found himself 2 kills now in quick succession. And actually, now there's a push. Zed in between trains. What damage can he do? Well, it looks as if maybe just going for a couple of spawn kills. TJ, sit down, son. Zed having absolutely none of that, and they're just patrolling the Optic Gaming spawn right now, and the pressure is coming from all sides of the map. Paris need to be very careful, though, not to flip the spawns and allow Optic Gaming to get behind them at A.
I think they're very close to flipping those spawns, though.
So
I think
close.
they might be just purposely leaving it open and try to apply that pressure over to C as long as possible. We'll see how the map plays out. Right now, though, Optic, there is a player that's able to swing his way over towards the B site, and, well, he ran over the flag, so Paris is going to know he's nearby. But right now, TJ just going to be causing confusion.
Did well to stay alive. Slasher, of course, in support. Be the target of assault, and also A as well. Unfortunately, though, it was Slasher that could have put pressure on the Paris Legion home hill, but C's also been decapped, so keep that in mind here. Optic Gaming will have to cap up B, but if Paris can quickly retake that, they will regain a 2-to-1 flag advantage. Big 1v1 going over towards C. Meanwhile, again, Paris looking to defend B with all they've got. 3 minutes 20 to go. 44 to 28 point game advantage for Paris Legion.
Now Paris, they just have a ton of ARs looking over this B site, but you can see that kill feed. Slasher is able to find a couple. Dash is able to find a couple more, and Optic will be able to secure that B flag, and now the pressure's on. Now they can go for some spawn kills of their own, slay him out of A.
And I'm curious to see if we see Paris Legion do what Seattle Surge did earlier on this exact map. Start overextending, consistently putting pressure on the C flag. It worked treats and wonders for them. Now, though, Optic Gaming chipping away at the Paris lead.
Well, Paris is actually just going to spawn out at C right now, and you can see Slasher's kind of aware of it, but Dash is killing players on the other end, so there's a lot of chaos all over the map. Of course, Dashy right now locking down one end. We go over to Dens, but of course now Paris is capping C.
If Paris can somehow hold on to A, that would be wonderful, because they're going to put pressure over towards B as well. That's going to be Dens. A decap would be wonderful, but Dashy's not going to let him get it. Finds the kill in the nick of time, but Zed's still there. He will complete the decap, surely will fall. Dashy having none of it, but the flank comes in through Kismet. Optic Gaming spawning over towards C, but so is Paris Legion. One player, that's Dens, could at least stop that cap coming through, whilst Optic Gaming still putting pressure at B.
Of course, Dens, as he's seeing the players run out of C, is going to be able to spot one more. Eventually, he's going to get chopped down, and Optic, it looks like they've kind of stabilized the C spawns, but while they finally know where they're going to be spawning, of course, that B flag is going to be going the way of Paris Legion, who have had the lead the entire time, but an incredibly close game, through all the D spawns, through all the decaps, the neutral flags, whatever. It is a 12-point game.
And domination this year is such a delicate game mode. If you push just a little bit too far, if you're in the wrong spot, the spawns can get so chaotic. Because now all of a sudden Zed decides, yes, it's time to push through. He's going to decap Optic Gaming's home hill. Meanwhile, B is going to be decapped as well by Optic Gaming. Slasher should be able to stay and actually cap that back up, but the consistent pressure from Paris Legion is the reason they still have the lead. But finally, Optic Gaming get a little bit of control. As I say that, see, once again, decap, now capped up by Optic as well.
Towards that B flag, you're going to have Luca, you're going to have Shox, you're going to have basically everybody. TJ, the defenseman, though, is able to pick up 2, but does get cut down. The nade does not get out of hand in time. So while that player on Paris is actually over towards B, the more pressure comes in. J-Cap there in the nick of time.
And if Paris can try and lock up this B hill and give themselves maybe a 25, 30-point lead going into the second half, that's going to do them wonders. Optic Gaming, though, now it's about trying to stabilize. 50 seconds left in the first half. Here in game 3, series tied at 1-1. TJ trying to run through the B flag. Optic putting pressure on A. That's going to be shut down instantly. Shox having none of that. Meanwhile, Slasher just looking to apply pressure somewhere on the map at this point.
Yeah, of course, the pressure, though, for Optic. It looks like one man's going to be the OE kind of guy over towards A. That's Slasher, who, well, actually is going to be debating to go for a flank. Maybe some cutoff kills. So Slasher, key man to watch. Playing nice and aggressive as his teammates are picking up kills. He knows he needs to spawn kill him over towards the A site. Is able to pick up one. Doing a great job of staying alive and at least buying his team time. You see the B flag getting capped by the Optic Gaming members. They're not quite there, though.
The problem was it took them so long to deal with Kismet, who was at the other side of B. Kismet, he stayed alive. He managed to get a kill of his own. But despite all the hard work Slasher was doing, his teammates couldn't get to the B flag quick enough. And that will do it for the first half 97-72, advantage Paris Legion.
And it really amounted to be a really impressive side from them as well. It seems like with that AB cap, they were able to just not even really keep it stable, because there's quite a few moments where like the chaos really started to kick in, where all of a sudden they're spawning at C, then Optic has it, then Optic spawn killing, and it seems like every single time Optic was getting like kind of close to getting that B flag or even neutralized a little bit, Paris was always just there in the nick of time.
And it's in those situations you've got to keep your communication absolutely perfect, Chance. You cannot slip up for a second. It becomes just a rotation game, and I love what we're seeing from Paris Legion off the rip. If you keep around the minimap, they've actually sent 2 players now to soar over towards A. Clearly, they want to try and flip the spawns and have the exact setup they had in the first half.
And of course now Optic, you saw Quavo or whatever the hell it is, was able to pick up quite a few kills. He's gotten 4 on this one side, and he's going crazy. And while he's doing that, well, they're going to be able to secure that B flag.
Well, it's Paris Legion with the lead, and I want to see if they're able to flip the spawns. I want to send it now to an Astro Gaming listening with Paris Legion.
One shot, Teach, one shot, got to C. Actually, one shot. Wait, one's Crim Swat, Crim Swat. One hit C, guys, one hit C.
Two way. Teach weak on C. Two way, guys. One's green. Wait, Shock's P3. Shock's P3.
One skinny, pushed out. Skinny right now.
One's green, you see me. Dashy.
No. Boiler's well.
Yeah, I'm watching out. I'm watching Stacks push. He's office.
I'm working this together. You're Stacks, yeah?
Office jumped out. Behind you.
Hey, Dashy, skinny still.
Start going
Look, I don't see him. I see bathroom.
Oh yeah, Stacks, he went bathroom.
He's outside bathroom.
Jumped out on me. Damn it.
I don't see him.
Teach, skinny.
Fucking someone here.
I don't see him, he might go past you.
Two skinny guys.
Top bathroom dead. You got me. J-Cap. You.
Stop skinny with an AR.
Dead. Okay, he's still you guys.
Okay, do something together here, guys. Stop running.
A little bit of insight there into Paris Legion's communication. The game, though, getting a little close. So far in the second half, Chance, they've been unable to flip the spawn, something they clearly want to do. And of course, they've not even been able to get close to B. Optic Gaming has locked in 2-1 hill advantage for the most part of the second half.
And I really like the setup that Optic's been going with. They just keep a ton of pressure over towards the B side where all 5 arrows can do it. And they always make sure that one player can watch the cross should anyone go to A. That's going to be Slasher's job. He's got that spotted on the A side. Meanwhile, everyone from else's Optic is at B, except now that Optic's also spawning over at C. But the win was from Paris over on that A flag.
It's Kismet again causing problems, and now Optic Gaming, they've flipped spawns. They will be over towards the C side of the map now. If Paris Legion is quick and apply a ton of resources at B, they may be able to get the decap and maybe even a cap very, very quickly. The cavalry is coming on that side, but Shox has won a miracle gunfight over towards the C side, and then now maybe even a trip cap could come through. Paris Legion, they get the job done. Finally, Chance, flip the spawns on their preferred setup.
Had just enough pressure towards that bottom side of the map, over towards that A flag to get Optic to spawn out, in spite of the home flag being in control of Paris the entire time. So now Optic, again, the pressure's going to be back on, down by about 14 points. Got to find a way to get to this B flag, and they have a little bit of pressure there from J-Cap, but again, they have to deal with C at the same time. Paris doing a phenomenal job of just being annoying.
And that's going to be their key to success. Be annoying, consistently overextending, rotating, putting pressure on Optic Gaming, making them think when they respawn, where do I need to go? Do I need to fly at B? Do I need to secure my home hill? So far, so good from Paris Legion. 142 to 123 with just under 3 minutes still to go.
Pressure's on though, Dashy's on the flag. You see the trophies coming in clutch, and he actually hopped off it just for a second. So gonna have to try to go for it once again, but the flag is secured. The pressure from Optic is gonna be there. 2.5 minutes left. Holding the 2 flag is gonna be in plenty of time. However, Zed is gonna spawn behind enemy line. That's gonna be annoying for Optic because, well, they're gonna have to go deal with the C flag. It might just get neutralized.
Now, if you can just get the decat alone, that would be massive, and stay alive, which he's been able to do. The nade actually kills Slasher. So now Optic Gaming, they were in the perfect spot. Zed finally falls, but it hasn't caused a big enough opening at B where Paris Legion can try and soar back in.
Still though, if they keep making annoying plays like that and just slow the pace of Optic down, maybe it can be enough. I'm not quite sure. It's going to be close, so they might need to get a 2 cap.
You'll have 2 minutes left. If it stays like this, Optic Gaming, I assume, would take the lead. But for Paris Legion, to your point, Chance, it is now about being a nuisance on the map. B's actually being capped up, though. If they can hold a 2-1 flag advantage for at least 30 to 45 seconds, that's going to apply so much pressure on Optic Gaming as Optic all falls. Zed with 2. Den's looking to find TJ as B is capped up. Paris Legion a perfect retake.
And of course, if they have more than a 12-point lead and they're even able to despawn that C flag, that's going to amp up the pressure. It takes 1 minute if you have the one flag advantage to get 12 points. So with the lead we have right now, even more pressure's on Optic. They're going to have to get that double cap fast, and they're probably going to need more after that.
I thought it was Paris Legion was supposed to be under-practiced. As it stands, they have the advantage. Just over a minute to go. Optic Gaming need to shift into a different gear. B finally being defended.
And they're going to need the triple cap. Optic's going to need to just completely apply the pressure, or they'll have to despawn the A flag and have to. They're going to have to pull off something crazy. They are running out of time, down by 19 points. And you can see Optic feels it. They have sent Slasher over towards A, and well, he's there, but he's going to be surrounded. Meanwhile, Paris, they can just hold on to the B. The pressure's on Optic. It's so difficult.
We've talked about Kismet throughout this series, and this is one of those games, making the right plays at the right time. 30 and 21 so far. He's been a menace at the B flag. 35 seconds, 175, 159. Still Paris Legion with a 2-to-1 flag setup. Optic Gaming, surely there's no way.
And there's just too much for Optic to do. And again, Paris, they've been annoying pretty much this entire half. Now you have the option to be even more annoying towards the end, because when Optic has to stack up, you can go to C, you can despawn, you can do whatever you want. Kismet on a force spree, working his way to end this game. Just tipped the cap to him and has had a fantastic respawn performance. And Paris Legion, again, all these teams that were expected to be at the very bottom, they have turned up so far in Minnesota.
Definitely have Paris Legion take game 3. Now a 2-to-1 advantage in the series. Optic Gaming LA, chance they have to go back to the drawing board here. We've got to see something different in respawn. They've just been outclassed.
And I mean, again, keep in mind the way that second half started out, like they were only down by not a huge lead. It was like 12, 15 points, whatever it was. And immediately, Kenny goes and picks up a 3. You get a 2-flag cap, and it just crumbles after.
And there you see the coach of Paris Legion, former European professional player Josh, is saying, keep the momentum up, keep it up. We can win this series. As it stands, Paris lead 2-1. We'll be back after this with game 4.
We trying to get hype. Trying to get hype. Trying to get hype. We trying to get hype. We trying to get hype.
Paris Legion lead the series against Optic Gaming LA 2-1. And honestly, the players we highlighted at the very beginning of this series for Paris Legion have been playing so very well. Chance one of them, I mean, it is Kismet. For me, an outstanding performance in that domination. The Search and Destroy, he was a little bit nullified, let's be honest. Not really the performance we expected to see out of Kismet. Even in the hard point, game number 1, he had truly outstanding figures. And I mean, I want to see more statistically from exactly how Kismet's been able to play and the numbers he's been putting up, because it truly has been impressive.
He's been great, and of course, though, you gotta let it ride, right? Because we're talking about an Optic Gaming team who we expect to be a lot better in the respawns. They have an immense amount of slaying power on their team, but you know what, for map 1, I'll just tip my cap to the Aussies, right? They went off, Shucks goes on a 10 streak, like sometimes you just get beat, but then that domination, they just seem to falter in my mind, spud out a little bit, whether it's unpreparedness in the game mode or whatever it may be. That's not the Optic I was expecting to see.
So how does Optic Gaming LA fight back in this series, knowing we're going to another respawn? They haven't won one so far in this series. How do they take us to a game 5?
I mean, again, it has to be brought back to the slaying power. That was the key to success for a reason. You have so many players on this team that are capable of completely taking over a game. It's got to be someone, right? Whether it be Kenny or like, I don't care. Someone for the team needs to go off, or else the Paris Legion are going to shock with a massive upset.
Well, game 4 underway, and it's a hot start for Optic Gaming LA. Already a couple of kills come in their favor. Will respond, and it is Optic Gaming inside the first hill as well. So they're going to start earning themselves some points, and hopefully for them at least, a lead.
Well, Paris has done one thing well and one thing not so well. The great thing is, well, they're trying to rotate towards the next little advance. The downside, though, is, well, they're not inside the hill, and they are getting slowly bullet out. It's that one man on the flank, but he gets chopped down immediately, and Optic is going to be happy to take a ton of this time. And frankly, there's so much time in the hill. Now they have all the time in the world to set up and try to start rotating over towards new. Really, you only need one player inside of the hill. Paris Legions don't want to overextend and get punished. You get a lot of time to work with. Just take your time, slow the pace down for Optic, and start finding some of these kills.
It was a hot start straight out of the gate for Slasher. 5-3 he sits at. As now the rotation fights are going to come through, and honestly, if Optic can build themselves a massive lead straight off the bat, you worry for Paris Legion here in game 4, because already, I mean, they got everything but 4 points up the first hill.
And you know, I can't remember if it's true in this game. I think it's actually only possible to get 59 seconds on a hill. I'm really mad because Kenny jumped out. He jumped out like right just for a second, and it cost it. So basically a perfect hill, but not quite so. But either way, Optic, they had so much time to go on the rotation, and this is the slaying power we were waiting to see. Kenny, he's 4-0. He sat inside the hill forever, still hasn't died. Optic just hanging out in the new point.
I was going to say, he had pretty much nothing to do for quite some time.
Well, you know,
he managed to kill the 4 players that pushed in towards the hill, and then that was pretty much it. I think he's sat now with 29 seconds of hill time, so nice start for Optic Gaming LA. But Paris Legion are fighting back, 71-18, still 17 seconds of hill time available here, and Paris should be able to get all of that, essentially. Look at the mini-map, rotations again towards the 3rd hill.
Yeah, and this is going to be potentially a really nice setup for Optic. You got TJ going to be the front man. Well, he immediately gets chopped, but Optic will be at this new hill first. You got Shocks, though, potentially with the hot hand. If you went on a 10 spree before, why not be able to do it again? But
sure
you can already see inside the hill, it's just nothing but green in and around that point.
First gunfight, Kismet takes full advantage of it as he jumps around the corner. He's on a 5 streak right now. That's a 7-7 start for Kismet on Paris Legion. And he's actually managed to shut down Slasher as well in the kill feed, so he's going to keep going. In fact, Kismet found 2. That was an incredible spree from him, and he's going to be, for me, a key to success for Paris Legion. If he can keep up at that slaying pace, he might be able to counteract some of the slaying Optic Gaming possess.
And Paris are doing a really nice job just to get in and around this point, cause distractions, but again, with those back spawns, eventually Optic Gaming are going to be able to overpower the team. So decent job from the side of Paris, but Optic will be able to get a good chunk of that final scrap time, and they will be able to extend their lead to well beyond 60 points. Now, of course, though, on the rotation, we've seen this quite a few times on St. Petro. The teams that wins this hill, P3, it is a long rotation to go over towards that pool hall. You got to imagine Paris are going to be able to put up quite a bit of time on the hill.
Well, you'd hope so, but in fly Slasher. He says, no, I'm going to win the first gunfight on that massive rotation. Luca, meanwhile, he's in the hill, ready and waiting. Optic Gaming going to have to be very, very careful here as they try and rotate through. The fights, Paris Legion are going to try and take it to your point, and that's 23 seconds already for Paris Legion as they try and get themselves back into this game.
Optic, though, they got 5 men working on the pinch at the exact same time. They are coordinated. They are trying to get inside the hill, but despite the fact that they're all near each other, it's actually a challenge one at a time at the doorway, so you spend a lot of time to set up a break, and you find no success. Paris Legion on the hold setup, and they just got a massive amount of time, but again, that's the way this pool hall goes.
And this is huge considering how the first hill went with Optic Gaming getting every single amount of points as they basically could, outside of, what, 2 or 3. Paris Legion respond with almost a full 60 back right at them. 110 to 95 will be the points as we rotate over towards our new hill.
You got 2 players inside the hill for Paris Legion. The challenge is going to come in, and TJ looking for kills that maybe he won't be able to find because his teammates are going to be able to do all the work and kill all 5, and now he knows exactly where the spawns are coming from. Pops that dead silence and makes the read on the direction. Has a couple players in front of him, but can't connect with the kill. Paris now trying to work their way through the front door. Meanwhile, Dashy, he's got to deal with every direction. Too many things to look at, and Paris are back inside the hard one.
They break through. Dems was inside, but he falls very, very quickly. A couple of players from Paris keeping the hardpoint contested. If nothing else, Kismet will find one. Shox gets himself a double. The flank, no good. Zed shuts that down, and Paris Legion could take the lead on this hardpoint.
And that is a phenomenal job on the retake. Again, we were watching from TJ's point of view, just couldn't find enough kills, and you can't allow Paris just kind of storm back through and retake the hill that quickly, but so they do, and despite the massive start Optic had, they were up by, what, 90 seconds at a certain point?
Yes.
2 hills back to back, and Paris take the lead, but now we're back to P1. Well, it was a perfect hill from Optic Gaming the first time around.
And they try and do it again. So far, so good. 10 seconds in, but Paris Legion trying to set up a pinch, and unfortunately, Kismet will fall, so that's going to slow things down just a little bit. But Paris Legion cannot allow Optic Gaming again to get so much free time. The shots come through. A team kill. Is that maybe the opening Paris Legion need as they soar into the first hill? They have control, but for how long?
And now Optic actually have a couple different decisions to make. Do you want to go for the hill? Well, that's going to be Kenny's job. He needs to get inside. He's able to find a couple, but gets chopped down because, well, his teammates were trying to fight from the spawns, and they do not connect.
And bear in mind, Optic Gaming, I think they're going to concede that 20 seconds because the rotation came in very, very early. And the problem is, I don't think they've been able to control the spawns as well. It's Slasher deep in the back of the map trying to lock in the spawns for Optic Gaming.
Yeah, Paris, though, they're going to consistently spawn in his back right portion. That's what Kenny's job is, to go and cut these players off or go black that spawn. He's able to find 2 along the way. See if he can find more, but you can see how quickly they are going to constantly spawn in that back right pocket.
153. 153, tied game. Optic Gaming take the lead now as they have control of the second hill. Paris, though, tried to go for the push, and well, Dashy just got 4, JCat got 1.
Yeah, that's how you break it, Ben.
Yep.
They're going to constantly spawn in that back right pocket until you kill all of them at the exact same time. Dashy with the highlight reel, and Optic, that's the kind of play that they need to make. But now inside the hill, Paris on the retake are very quick. Now it's Optic with the close spawn, but it's Paris that are trying to get this time. And Paris, again, they are constantly dealing with the pressure, this chaos, oh so well.
Dashy currently 20 and 14 with over a minute hill time, minute 16 to be precise. Paris Legion will get scrap time and will retake the lead. This is a crazy back and forth hardpoint, exactly like we saw in game 1.
And this is going to be the tale of 2 things. It's Optic with their early spawns over towards Hazmat Paris. Their job, if not just to outright break it, be annoying and chip away as much time as possible and make sure you don't overextend yourselves so you keep the spawns for next. But right now, Optic, a ton of players trying to get those cutoff kills mid-map.
If they can break this quickly, Optic Gaming are going to be in serious, serious trouble. However, so far, so good. The kill feed green. JCat finds 1. Teammates dealing with everybody else. Optic again with the lead. 40 seconds remain. This could give them a big cushion. But then you have to think about our first rotation chance. What followed it? Paris Legion with a full 60. After this hill, it's going to be very important Optic Gaming. If you decide to give away the final 20, that's fine, but you have to rotate as early as you can.
And this is one of those hills that it's just such a spread out battle. Like Paris is, sending a bit of their resources over towards the hill. It's Zed on the mini-map trying to be annoying if he can, which he's successful on one end, but then you have to have resources to make sure you hold the rotation. It's chaos on the map because everyone on the map is doing something different.
Paris have to be so careful to make sure they keep the spawns in their favor, and I think Shox is in a crucial gunfight right at the back of the map. And in the kill feed, you see, I think he actually picked it up as well. So advantage for Paris Legion as we go back to pool hall. It was a perfect hold in our first rotation. Can they do it again and put themselves at just touching point of winning the series?
course, though, Paris, they're trying to get a lot of time. Someone from Optic has actually snuck their way through. That's going to be Kenny inside the hill. He's able to find one, but he's got a lot more pressure. Has a couple players in front, and it looks like his teammate Dashi got the cutoff kill. And just like that, Optic Gaming break through the important hill, and now they might be poised to take the W.
Could win it here. As Kismet falls, good trigger discipline coming out of Kenny. Paris Legion, they have to contest, they have to get in. That's 4 death though. The problem is once you get control, you have to almost leave the hill instantly and rotate towards the new hill. It's basically a foot race on the minimap. Everyone's soaring towards the final hill.
In Restaurant last time around, Paris Legion again, they didn't even get there first, but they were able to get that control. Now they got a bunch of bodies in and around the hill. Couple kills starting to go their way. You got players trying to work around back, but that kill feed, that is a lot of Paris Legion players getting that early control.
I feel like the game is going to end on this hard point. 50 seconds remain. 238, 230. Advantage Optic Gaming, but that will be nullified very, very shortly. Paris Legion still in the hard point. Optic Gaming is going to have to break. JCap first to the party. Can he win the gunfight? No, he can't. The trades though that ensue. TJ inside the hill. Optic Gaming now with the advantage. Paris Legion have to soar. You don't have time to try and set up the perfect break. You have to push through. You have to deal with TJ. And TJ shuts the door in Paris Legion's face. Optic Gaming force a game 5.
Oh God, 2 stressful hard points we have had so far in this series. 2 incredibly close games, but in my mind, that game basically, well, it doesn't get decided, but gets saved by Kenny, making the play over towards Pool Hall and picking up a couple of kills. Eventually, a man on a solo mission. And then, of course, TJ, well, he'll pick up the slack in Optic. A fantastic job towards the end to break that Restaurant hill. But then it all comes down as if there was ever a shock to a game 5.
I think many people that had Paris Legion all the way down to the bottom of their power rankings may be a little surprised to see this one go to the game 5, but again, it's me and you, Casper. We always knew it was going to go the distance. As it stands, Paris Legion Optic Gaming tied 2-2. We'll send it now back to the analyst desk for their thoughts.
Thank you very much, Benson, Chance. Incredible stuff as usual from you guys up there in the box. It's hard to see you up there though. I can't really. Oh, hey, I see. Amazing stuff as well coming out of Paris Legion yet again. They seem to have their respawns down. I'm really impressed with actually how they were holding up there. I know that Optic Gaming kind of gave them a run for their money towards the end there, but I'm still so impressed with how these guys are coming out of the box. I really wasn't expecting this, if I'm going to be totally honest, compared to some of these guys on that Optic Gaming roster. I did not think that they were going to be able to compare to them whatsoever, but I'm totally wrong here. TB, what did you make of that?
They're playing very, very fast. The SMGs on the side of Paris are just making the game so darn chaotic, especially on a map like Petra, like we just saw. Some of those close hard points, they get set up at Pool Hall, and they're just making the game chaotic enough and forcing those close range engagements, and they're winning a lot of them, to be honest. If it wasn't for Kenny, the caster's able to shout that out. If Kenny doesn't get that sort of lucky timing on the flank at Pool Hall, Paris probably wins that hard point.
Absolutely, and of course Optic Gaming locking down a hill, and Paris decided to fully rotate and gave up the time and focus on the second hill as well. And that actually is a huge hold for them, but OG managed to break it pretty early on, and that's quite impressive. It was actually almost instantly there. Momo, what could have Paris Legion done better in order to allow their setup to maybe have more of a longevity to it?
It's hard when you're going up against some of these names, obviously, on Optic. You can have the perfect setup in the world, and sometimes a bit of brute force, a gunfight going the wrong way, and they can break on in. For me, again, the one thing I will say about that respawn was it was the first respawn which Paris wasn't outslaying Optic. It was the one where it was kind of neck and neck, and you saw that coming through. Yes, Kenny had a little bit of good timing and stuff like that, but we look at the first hard point, we look at the second, or the domination. These guys were outslaying by 10, 15 kills for the map, and that was the first time it was pretty level. Again, makes things interesting. We have our 3rd game 5 in a row, which obviously I'm sure you guys like to see at home, but I'm sure if you're a Paris Legion fan, you're a little nervous now after that first S&D.
I'm sure they are, but they might have learned a thing or two.
Never know. Might be just a bad map.
It could just have been a bad map. You never know. But of course, they probably have really impressed themselves in terms of how they're stepping up against the roster, literally filled with talent. And they've probably been watching them for a long time and thinking to themselves, okay, we're going up against some of the best, and how are we going to compete with this? But they're doing it so well. Let's take a look at a stat sheet right now. We're going to have a look at Quavo and Dashi side by side. The guys in green here, and the smile from Quavo, you can't deny that. That's a lovely smile there. Dashi looking a little bit more serious on the side there, but seriously good with 28 kills to his name right there. These two guys, unstoppable on paper, and they're looking quite good fitting into their new team. I really need to see more from them coming through with respawns. They need to start getting that onwards, because if they're going to compete with the likes of Chicago Huntsmen, Dallas Empire, when they step up too, they're going to have a little bit of trouble, TP.
I completely agree. It's a really good point. I feel like we expected more out of the respawns from this team. A little bit shaky so far, and sort of my take on it so far is they're just taking very, very reckless challenges that are unnecessary for this game. They have a good setup. They seem to have the fundamentals down, and then all of a sudden they get one kill and they fly out and try and challenge the second guy. They're trying to do a little bit too much. I'm not sure if they're trying to just, really going for every gunfight. It just doesn't really work out in this game a lot of the time. So they need a little bit more composure on some of these respawns for sure.
And of course, Game 5 is going to be S&D Ramaza. Momo, is this a situation now where Optic Gaming are just going to pull this out the wings yet again, show us a stormer of an S&D map, and kind of send Paris Legion home crying?
It is easy to jump to those conclusions, judging by the one S&D that we have seen, but we've seen in the past certain teams just have that bogey map, the one that doesn't work for them. I think we haven't seen enough Search and Destroy yet. I want to give Paris the benefit of the doubt going into Game 5, but if you look at the experience on that OG lineup, this is where they close things out. This is their S&D, this is Slasher making those shot calls. And again, it was interesting, even the graphic that we saw there, Kenny, TJ, they were the two players on both respawns to be putting those numbers up. If they can do that in S&D as well, alongside the rest of the squad, I'm sure they close it out here. But what frustrates me is Paris have played so well, and they come out this with a 3-2 loss. I kind of feel sorry for them. I just think they deserve more, but they put a strong showing on, and I just hope it's closer than the first S&D.
TV, is that what you think it is right now for Paris Legion in this S&D game? Is it a numbers game right now? Is that what they need to focus on, trying to get them man down to maybe 3 versus 1 as much as they possibly can? Is that kind of what they're focusing on coming out of the gate, or would you say it's more of a patient situation for them? Are they pushing too hard from the start?
Well, I think going into a map 5 Ramaza, it's a map that's going to force them to play together. So if they're able to initiate good team pushes, we saw in the respawns, when they make it chaotic, when they play the game fast, they're having success. So in a close quarter map like Ramaza, throw a smoke out B and get to running. That's the style that was working for them in the respawns. You can sort of replicate it in early round S&D. So I think it definitely is a numbers game if they're able to play together and make the game scrappy. That's what they've been able to do. We've seen them have success with it, and you got to give credit where credit is due. The guys are gunning. They're on point. They're performing better than I thought they would. So a lot of props to Paris so far in this one.
I can see why you were such a successful coach. You make it sound so easy. It makes it sound like I could go out there and do it, maybe. I'm going to hand it over to the casters now. Gentlemen, what I want to know from you two is, can Europe come out with a 2-0 start to CDL?
Ooh, hey, I'm going to be honest, that'd be nice. A little bit of bias from me, but honestly, no.
A little bit of bias, Ben.
All right, a lot of bias. Honestly, no, I don't think so. I love the point Phil brought up, right? Is often you see teams that maybe have that bogey map, and it's just a little unfortunate. I don't think that was the problem for Paris Legion. I think, we heard coming in they were a little bit under-practiced, and well, when you're under-practiced, you can definitely assume Search and Destroy was kind of an overlook, and it just wasn't practiced maybe anywhere near as much as the respawn game modes were. Optic Gaming on the other side looked very, very polished. Just the fundamentals of the Search and Destroy plays we saw was just significantly better from the green wall. But then having said that, we've already had one round 11, so why not have two?
It's also a situation for Search and Destroy. Obviously, these teams don't scrim each other a ton because they don't want to give their strats away. So they'll run through the map, certainly, but then it comes down to your experience in different situations. And what do we see like the first map on Arclive? It's like Slasher. He's making the big clutches. J-Cap in the 1v1s. He's going to make the correct plays as well. You expect that across the board from Paris. We haven't seen that yet. I mean, again, the expectation was for Kismet to run around like a maniac and he sniped the entire time type thing. So
no sniper in his hand. Get that away. Get that away.
I want to see how much these teams evolve throughout the year. I think that's the really key, but of course, if you're thinking for Paris, they need to evolve very quickly.
Well, Optic Gaming, defensively going to be aggressive over towards B, and they're going to need to be because Paris Legion are already through. Shots and Luca, they find 2 kills in quick succession, 5v3 already.
And this is hyper aggression. They have completely taken control of this B site. They have bodies all over the map. 1 guy for the full flank, 2 guys to watch the mid corridor, and everyone stacked up in the house. It's a fantastic setup.
That's exactly what you want to see from Paris Legion. It really is just be very, very aggressive, very, very quickly. Get the bomb down, force Optic to come to you in post-plant positions, and just like that, Paris Legion win round 1.
And that was beautiful. In my mind, that round is genuinely won from a stun grenade.
I just imagine Josh in the crowd shaking his head when I was saying, yeah, Paris Legion don't stand a chance. He's like, no, shut up, Vincent. You know nothing. You know nothing. Maybe I'm completely wrong.
But again, just to highlight the point, that stun at the start, we saw how much it slowed down Kenny off the rip. It hit a couple players, and you just get that instant, here's where you wanted to be, no longer. It's going to screw up your timing. It's going to mess up that opening break. And as soon as we saw those kills come in, there was 0 wasted time from the side of Paris. Aggression on that B side.
Shox 2-0, Luca 2-0, Dens 1-0. They, of course, the players that picked up the kills in the round number 1. Now, though, we go into round 2. Optic Gaming, of course, on the attack. What do they have in their back pocket for a strat? Already mid-map controlled by Paris Legion. A little sneaky, but Dashi does get a first blood.
As Luca trying to think about a flank, Dashi though makes the read. He got Optic Gaming with a very spread out map, but they're leaning over towards this B site and the pressure's on. Now you actually have Kismet in an interesting spot, able to pick up one, get shot in the side. The site control way of Optic Gaming.
The timing just a few seconds off. I don't think he expected JCap to challenge as quickly as he did, but Optic Gaming now with a 1-man advantage, making that 2 as Dens will fall. They look good to respond here and tie things up 1-1, but Zed will slow that down just a little bit as Dashi falls. Kenny not able to connect, but I believe the bomb is going down. That's JCap planting, and Optic should be good here in post-plant.
They're going to have Shox on the backside, waiting for his teammate potentially to make a play. Zed's going to be underneath. Your shot's going to put down range. Shox able to find one. Instant double challenge from Optic. 2v1, all up to Zed.
They were not letting him get away whatsoever there, but as you said, Zed for the 1v2, he's heard JCap, so that should be 1 free. Never mind, JCap. Alrighty then. Optic Gaming tied up 1-1.
JCap's headset is functioning.
Yes, it is. Shout out to Astro Gaming headsets on the main stage.
Heard him clear as day, making the right play towards the end. Very nice round coming in from Optic, and it was a slightly different approach. Obviously, you don't go for the hyper aggression straight through B. They sent a couple players mid-map. You had Dashi that was picking up players off the flank, but as soon as they started to find those openings, get those picks, there was no wasted time. And once you see those 2 players flying out for the trades, that's the type of thing you love to see.
Yeah, you absolutely do. JCap 3-1 start. Nice end there. To that last round, of course. Paris Legion back on the attack. This time, though, it's a first blood for Optic Gaming. However, Zed responds as Kismet tries to fly out. Where's the trade? Nowhere to be seen. That's the big difference, really, between Paris Legion and Optic Gaming from what we've seen so far.
Now, of course, with that man advantage, Optic Gaming, you got 1 man over towards Zed. He can just stay alive. He can do whatever he wants because you got 3 bodies in and around this B site. And it's just going to be Paris Legion hoping that they can get a pick. Dens, if he can just snap someone with an AR before they can throw the shoulder quick enough, but you can see Slasher not even peeking.
Yeah, this is such a difficult site to try and retake. And you don't have at least equal numbers. Obviously, you prefer a man advantage, but again, Kismet sliding out without the support of his teammates. Big difference from what we're used to seeing with Optic Gaming as shots start to go down on the map. Shox has put himself in a sneaky little spot, but really this may just be a cherry pick a kill and try and get out, but stays alive. For how long, though? Optic Gaming know he's here, of course. They're searching for him. Did Shox see JCap out of the corner of his eye? I don't think he did. JCap certainly saw him, though, and Shox finally falls. Now it's down to Dens for the 1v4.
Dens is able to find one, but it's a situation where there's virtually nothing you can do. He's going to have to fly out for an instant challenge, but he's got an AR, and Optic Gaming are taking their time to get a good setup, and you see how difficult of a gunfight that really is to win. It's the tale of search and destroy, and we're going to be talking about a lot. If you don't have dead silence, it's going to be near impossible to make a play. It's just so difficult to maneuver around the map, and well, that just means it's ever important to get those opening kills. Like, if you want to make a play and be aggressive, you're going to need to send more than 1 person if the dead silence is not available.
Optic Gaming retake control of the series. 2-1 advantage here in the Game 5 search and destroy. JCap will, of course, take the bomb for Optic Gaming, and you can see the intent straight off the rip. Flying towards B. There's a shot from, I believe that was Shox just firing straight at him, but Kismet will find JCap, and he's actually going to get TJ as well. A double kill to open things up for Kismet. He's not done just yet because he has all the audio cues. Kismet now with 3. Slasher, be careful. Don't feed him number 4. Slasher all by himself. Surely he falls. Zed challenges. Now Kismet goes. A damn near perfect round out of the search and destroy guru.
Play of the game material right there coming out of Kismet. And I will say, Luca, not cool. Taking his ace away from him. Why are you getting that kill? Beat it to your teammate. Give him some of that energy.
I think we've seen an ace yet, have we?
Oh. That's I have no idea, Ben. You're right, that's too tough.
I'll say no. Well, Maven stat. No.
The most we've seen around is 4, right there. Nice job, Kismet. Props to him.
Paris Legion tied up 2-2. Of course, Kismet's stat line increases quite drastically after that. 5-2 now. As Paris Legion go back onto the attack. Bomb carrier, again, making his way over towards B. It will be Kismet with bomb. Last attacking round, you saw Kismet slide out completely by himself. He needs the support of his teammates if he's going to try and make a heroic play like that. You cannot just slide out needlessly and try and play a 50-50. I mean, it's not even a 50-50 at that point, because you're going to have multiple players from Optic Gaming ready and waiting for you.
He's still round developing right now for the Paris Legion. And potentially a missed opportunity because I think they had the same stun strap. And now Kismet working up. The player next to him is certainly going to hear this, but not an easy gunfight to win.
Oh, he didn't spot it. Surely, there it is. First blood. Fortunately for Kenny, glanced over towards his left-hand side.
He wiggled a little bit too much and his character model popped up just a bit, but now, of course, you see that bomb getting wrapped out, but there's a player sitting there waiting for that wrap. That gunfight, though, is going to be taken down as well as teammates there for the trade. You got to be aggressive, and Kismet is able to shut him down.
Now, is it going to be almost a double bluff? Unfortunately, it seems like everyone on Paris Legion wasn't on the same page. Luca and Shock's fall, that was over towards the B site, and well, I think Kismet was thinking, well, surely Optic Gaming rotate over towards A. They know I have bomb. They should be trying to make their way over there, but instead we find ourselves in a 2v3. Zed and Kismet need to try and produce the goods with 37 seconds left. Kismet's been tagged up, he's trapped. Surely there's no way out. He stares at his inevitable fate, which is the grenade stuck on the floor. And now it's a 2 versus 1, all down to Zed.
Zed's got to make a play. TJ, of course, has that B-bomb site completely covered. But Zed with the bomb is going to be underneath JCap. 18 seconds to make a play.
Has dead silence.
Does have dead silence.
Question is, can he get away? TJ spots him. TJ picks up the kill. Optic Gaming will defuse. And we'll go back into the lead. 3-2 here in Game 5.
Now, of course, you can just hang out, wait for your dead silence, take a break, take a little breather, talk about what they want to do on offense on the next round, and gather your footsteps.
And that, I feel like, is going to be such a frustrating round for Paris Legion when they go back and they watch the VOD, because they make the right play. You know, they get the opening over towards the A site, and then all of a sudden, it was just like they almost overcomplicated things a little bit. 2 players stay when maybe they should have rotated as well with Kismet, but unfortunately for them, they had the numbers advantage, and it was ripped away from them.
And I need to rewatch to be 100% certain, but I'm fairly positive that they had the same shot at the Paris Legion where they throw the stun out over top of like that little pit area. And I'm pretty sure it hit 3 players, slowed them all down. If they had been aggressive, they could have got site control like they did round 1, but maybe a slight missed opportunity at the front end as well as midway through the round.
Optic Gaming back onto the attack. Leading the way is JCap in this Game 5, 5-2. Of course, he's going to be bomb carrier as well for the green wall. It's Kenny struggling a little bit here at 1-4. See if he can turn his fate around in this round. JCap being so patient, and all of a sudden the game just slows down to a snail's pace.
Dashy, though, able to get that first blood. He's gotten a couple picks from that side of the map, and there might be an opening. So we'll have this bomb through Zed, though, up top.
That's huge, because Zed actually heard the second player as well. Instead, he just surges forward, finds the pick onto TJ, and Paris Legion now in control of the round. 4 versus 2.
Big plays coming out of Zed. Now that bomb, well, it's going to be rotating out, but you still have a player, Dens, is going to be waiting over towards this A site. So even as the bomb gets there, player might have information once he starts hearing these footsteps approach.
Yep. The second Dens hears, you'll start seeing those orange arrows sprint towards A. I think that was it. As Paris Legion start to rotate, you just have to make sure you don't throw anything away here. Do not give up Gaming even a chance. As Den shuts down Dashy, Kenny will fall. Paris Legion tie it up. 3-3, another incredibly close Game 5.
And it really comes down to some of those dead silence moments, right?
Yes,
like,
it does.
One, obviously, Zed makes a massive play, going to kill TJ, just flying like a maniac through that open cut. But at the same time, you don't have dead silence in the later parts of the round. Someone is just going to hear you at some different portion of the map, and the information game is massive. But a back-and-forth game. Ben, we've had one Game 5, round 11. We are on the same pace for this one.
We sure are, and Kismet leading the way for Paris Legion, 8-3. Needs to keep that pace going.
Better when he doesn't snipe.
Yeah, it sure is.
And here's the stun, by the way. This is the same thing. The stun is going to slow him down, but you see those orange arrows on the minimap. No aggression over towards the B site. Actually, of course, that bomb is on the flip side. This might be a bit of bait.
Wait and see. No first blood yet as the round starts to develop. Kismet in prime spot to cause some trouble. You have Dashi watching the A push for Optic Gaming. Meanwhile, Slasher's watching mid map. And Dashi gets himself first blood and shuts down Shocks.
I was going to say Dashi is definitely the primary man in the situation. He is basically the lone guy slowing down the push of Paris. And getting the first blood is huge, and now Paris needs to find a pick, and, well, Dens is going to provide. Able to pick up one. Paris have turtled up, but if they can get the kills, it'll work.
I was going to say, if you're going to turtle up, you have to make sure you win the following gunfights, and then you have to try and get site control as quickly as you possibly can. Just pick one and go. Meanwhile, Dens actually does find the pick on Dashi. Optic Gaming, they should know. And it's going to be an A push now from Paris Legion as we find ourselves in a 3 versus 2. JCap and TJ up. Kismet, Zed, and Dens alive for Paris Legion as the bomb goes down. JCap makes it a 2v2, though. He catches Dens out.
TJ with the crouch. Zed, though, he's just going to run away from him, trying to make the play. The surge is down. 33 seconds left on the bomb.
That should surely be it. Yes, it is. Paris Legion. They play the 2v1 with experience. They do not give anything away. Both players shooting directly at the last man. Zed will clean it up. TJ, no chance whatsoever, and Paris go into the lead here in the game 5.
And that is a massive round as well, because they get picked by Dashi. Your push gets stuffed. You wasted the utility at the start of the round, and then Dens just found pick after pick. Players for Optic Gaming overcommitting past the B site just a little bit too much. You know, we've said it before. I can't remember who was it that did it so well earlier. Whoever team was playing against the Surge, they were like getting the first blood and then immediately retreating and backing up and playing together. Optic Gaming, after the first pick, overextended themselves. Got to play discipline, Surge and destroy.
Optic back on the attack. Seems for now, the B site is going to be the primary site of attack, but Kismet defensively is ready and waiting. He's up one player, but really Kismet the first line of defense here for Paris Legion. Last time he was in this exact spot, he was able to find wonderful falling. He gets JCap, he gets the second as well. Shuts down Kenny. Paris now in a great spot, and it's Kismet, almost an identical situation to what we saw 3 or 4 rounds ago. Picked up 4 kills then. He's managed to find 2 already.
Just on the other side of the smoke, those players have dead silence pop. They've gotten past him. Kismet doesn't know, but his teammates do. Zed's able to get the next 2. A 2-piece for Kismet, a 2 for Zed in the gunny at the end from Kiz himself. Another phenomenal defensive stand at this B site. You gotta find a way to deal with Kismet. He's too good right now, Ben. He's too good.
Definitely never want to see him with a sniper in his hand again.
Yes, please.
Just shows you how good of a search and destroy player he is. 13-3, taking over in this game 5, and credit as well. Massive credit to Zed 8-5 and Den 6-4. The stats may not be as flashy as Kismet, but they're still making the plays.
Kismet has more kills purely on defense at the B site than anyone on Optic has total.
Actually, yeah. That's very true. Very true indeed. As Paris Legion back on the attack. Optic Gaming set up defensive parameters over towards the B site. You also have Dashi again watching the A site, but the game just slows down massively. 1:30 to go. Paris trying to bait out, but there's a first blood. It's Dens, the walking first blood in this game 5, it seems. JCap falls. Paris with the 1-man advantage.
We have so many snakes on the map.
Hey, man.
Oh, Zed stood up. Oh, they're all standing up.
And he didn't. Well, there's one. Oh, no. He finds the first. Can he find the second? Luca instantly with the trade. Paris with the advantage. Luca actually gets himself 2. Then shuts down TJ. Dashi all by himself. This would have to be a massive 1v4 to keep Optic alive in this game 5. Now for the 1v3. The nade thrown out. Paris know exactly where he is. Dashi has to go for the flash. She shuts down Kismet. He's read it, but not well enough. Paris Legion take it in 5. Chance, you famously once said it. Optic Gaming, we'll see you fudging later.
Paris Legion with the best possible start, 1-0. And again, a team that people had low expectations for, and this has been a consistent weekend of everyone just shutting the fans up. Teams consistently defying expectations. And what a hell of a game number 5. Great series, too.
Oh,
both hard points within 10, 15 points of each other. Both teams taking turns teeing off on each other. But when it comes down to that Ramaza, I mean, credit where credit is due to Kismet. Just on fire over towards that B site, but plenty of credit around. Dens had big plays, 2 pieces that can get picks like crazy. Zed was making massive plays, playing like a maniac at times with the MP5, and Luka showing up at the end as well.
Many people had Paris Legion bottom of the rankings when it came to, you know, looking at all the teams, putting them against each other, your power rankings. Well, they've come out and they've proven they might just be a force to be reckoned with. There's the Game 5 stats for Kismet. 13 kills, 4 deaths. Overall, that is an MVP.
And above all that, he planted the bomb. Look at him playing the objective, Ben. You love to see that kind of action from the main slayer.
So happy we got that out of Kismet. That's why he was my player to watch in this series. And I believe we have Puckett on the main stage with Kismet himself.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. That's right. It's time for our instant reaction, brought to you by PlayStation. Puckett here with Kismet, the legend of that Game 5. Give it up for that performance. 13-4. Are you kidding me? We all knew you were a vocal player. Anyone who watched you last year knows that you wear your heart on your sleeve. You're such a passionate player. But talk to me about the emotions throughout this series. You traded the respawns. It all came down to this final search and destroy.
They're a pretty good team, but overall I think we played a lot better. We wanted to prove a lot here. A lot of people have us like as the worst team right now, and I'm telling you we're not. We'll be one of the top teams really soon, and we're going to stop being slept on.
Stop being slept on, because that was something coming in. Everyone didn't know what to expect. I mean, you got 3 Australians, you got a North American, and you got a Brit on the lineup. So how has this team come together, and where do you feel you rank amongst the other 11?
I won't be too egotistical, but I definitely think we're like a top 4 team right now. We still have to work out a little kinks, but we'll be completely fine. Just keep watching us, bro. It'll be nice.
Speaking of watching, let's turn this way real quick. Here is one of your plays. Talk us through this 3-piece in the round. I believe this is when you racked up your double digits.
So basically this play, I just took B-bomb control. I had Shocks looking over me. He gave me every single info. So like, yeah, I did get all the kills, but it's a mad props to him. A lot of people don't realize that. He was telling me everything that was happening, and I was just I was going off of what the information he gave me, and it played off.
Did you guys like those highlights, Minneapolis? Do you now like Paris Legion? Because you made me a fan, but I know you're not done. You got one more fight this week, and it's coming tomorrow. What do you think when you match up against London?
Who'd you say?
London.
Who?
We'll find out tomorrow. International battle, that's happening on Sunday, but we have plenty more still to go live here on Saturday night. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Call of Duty League.